I never used to be that way. When I was growing up, I never thought of hiking as an activity or a hobby or even exercise. It was just something I did. It was normal to step out the door, head out back into the woods, and wander for hours on end with no destination in particular. Walking became a natural response to everything in my life. If I was happy, anxious, had an issue, or wanted to dream about the future, my feet would always be the vehicle that took my mind where it needed to go. But as I grew older, that sense of presence and wonder faded away. I don't really know when or how, but at some point I realized I was so far gone from who I used to be. As I became an adult in the working world, my time outside became compartmentalized against a plethora of other responsibilities. You don't have time to just wander, I thought. You have more important things to do. Or, the more dangerous thought, you need to be productive. That, I think, is what poisoned me, this ideal of productivity. In our society, our worth is measured by the amount we produce. We literally sell our time for money and only earn money if our time is seen as appropriately productive. And so our time, quite literally our most valuable and non-renewable resource, and what our life really is, has been monetized, sold, and valued in the name of productivity. And by extension, if we're not being productive, then we have no value. This way of thinking goes far deeper than simply hiking, as it infiltrates to the very core of our sense of self. But walking outside, my sacred space, was compromised by this toxic ideology. I became obsessed with being productive in my life and even on my hikes. Each hike needed an objective, an accomplishment. I felt the need to go for a certain distance, see a certain view, or keep a certain pace. I felt pressure to take photos of each hike so I could share for virtual likes and vapid praise from a few dozen strangers on the internet, a third of whom were probably bots anyway. Hiking was no longer a natural extension of my authentic self. It was the scheduled, detailed, small, and productive part of my daily life. I'm a firm believer that the best way to rebel against our current societal structure is to sit in the woods and do nothing. If everything is based on productivity and making money, then the act of doing something completely pointless and unproductive and not giving a damn rebels against this notion. As I became increasingly overwhelmed, stressed, frustrated, and anxious in life, I found refuge amongst the trees. Lately, I've been prying my hikes away from the cult of productivity and firmly placing them in the realm of the useless. Instead of focusing on summits, distances, or pace, I'm deliberately enjoying the experience for what it is. Now I'm practicing slow hiking. Slow hiking is the practice of mindfully enjoying the act of walking outside for its own sake and finding deeper meaning with our time in nature. It's not really about pace, it's more of a mindset. Even a trail runner or thru hiker can practice slow hiking as long as they take the time to be present and fully soak in the experience. Pace, distance, elevation, and views aren't the purpose. The purpose is to simply be outside, in nature, where we all belong. Just the mere fact that I'm moving outside is enough to satisfy me and to make me feel happier, calmer, and more at peace. And this mindset has led to a few changes in how I plan, spend, and enjoy my hikes. First of all, I'm actually walking outside more than I have been in years. I'm strolling anywhere and everywhere I can, even if it's not a great trail or super epic. Even on a stroll down my street, I find that I'm noticing more of the subtleties, like the croak of a lone frog or the first leaves turning color in autumn. Because I'm finding peace and enjoyment in more places, the barrier to entry for my hikes has diminished. I no longer see it as a failure to just walk a mile loop around a park near my house because it's close, short, or boring. Instead, I see it as a unique experience that I enjoy in its own right. My hikes also have a deeper impact on me now. Recently, I had 3 hours to spend in a park as I waited for my fiancée to complete something at her work. Typically, I'd just focus on how much hiking I could get in during those 3 hours. But instead, with slow hiking in mind, I attempted to hike as little distance as possible. In the end, over the course of 3 hours, I only completed a short loop trail around a small section of the park. But that hike still resonates deeply. In my mind, I could still vividly see so many of the natural features. I remember the life issues I worked through on that hike, as I had the time and space for my mind to truly wander. I left feeling calm, balanced, confident, and secure in my choices. And I truly believe that it took 3 long, slow, deliberate hours in nature to reach that conclusion. Finally, slow hiking has instilled a sense of contentment in me that has been long lost. Listen, I'm a perfectionist and optimizer. I constantly experience an underlying discontent, not with anything in particular, but with everything in general. This even includes being in an epic spot on planet Earth. I'm always thinking about what else I could do in that moment, how much farther I could go, or what's around the next corner. Slow hiking is a challenge to that discontent. Rather than thinking about what could be done, I focus on what is happening. And to be honest, that's an incredibly freeing feeling. I feel like slow hiking has freed me from the confines of my discontent. It hasn't been easy, but forcing myself to simply be and enjoy even a simple walk has allowed a sense of restfulness to seep into the rest of my life. Now, thanks to this practice, I can look out my window as I type this script and appreciate the sounds of the birds outside, the warmth of the sun glazing through my window. I don't feel an urge to get out and optimize this beautiful day. I can now enjoy it quietly, slowly, and simply. But I only got to this point by relishing the moments when my feet were carrying me along this beautiful earth, wherever they may go. There is so much to be learned from the practice of slow hiking and slow living in general. And now, my challenge is to take these lessons of patience, presence, and appreciation and apply them to other areas of my life. Because whether I'm on a trail in a far-off corner of the planet, or I'm sitting here at my dining room table, my feet are always beneath me, and they will always take me where I need to go.